Hello, tea friends. This is Barb Gulley from Barb's Tea Service, and we are back in the studio for podcast 24.
Here we are. How did that happen?
So we've got a 24 asterisk because we did a remote.
Yeah.
So the numbering's might be a little bit.
But who's keeping score?
Exactly. Good point.
Yep.
So I'm here with co-host, studio engineer, Arm Candy Chris.
Hello.
Hello. And Chris, season's greetings.
Well, thank you. I have a feeling the word season is going to do a lot of heavy lifting today.
You are so right.
All right.
Right. So we're using season's greetings.
Yes.
For two reasons. That's kind of our theme.
Yes.
First is the obvious. Next week is Thanksgiving, which is just kicks off all the holidays in December.
The whole thing. Just
fun times and festive and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So season's greetings in that respect, but also seasons for some of our favorite TV series.
Get out of town.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm in town.
Stay in town.
So we're going to talk about those, some that have wrapped up their seasons, some that are starting, and some that are going to be airing in the future. And we're not only fans of these shows, we kind of kick it up a notch.
Yes.
We're a bit of fanatics.
Uh-oh.
We've been to some of the filming sites.
Oh, we're those people.
Yes, we are
Okay.
those people.
All right. Okay.
So we're going to hit on 3.
Yeah.
Only Murders in the Building, The Empress,
Yes.
and then Miss Austen.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if we have time, and I really hope we do,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to cover some Thanksgiving dinner and holiday etiquette.
Yes.
And it's important. These are some of the 5 top rude behaviors that you want to avoid.
Faux pas with a capital F, capital P.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So I say get out your bingo card because we're going to be talking about a lot of our favorite topics. But first, tea.
All right. Okay. Here we are.
All right. So, Chris, if we can get a cut to our
All right. We're
holiday blend.
Yes.
And that is a Harney tea.
Uh-huh.
And the label states that its sweet, spicy, and fruity fragrance awakens the holiday spirit.
I'm so full of the holiday spirit, or maybe I just need some Tums. I don't know. That's good. So I would say the kind of the smell is different actually than the taste a bit.
Yes.
So it's I'd say the taste, the way it hits me, is kind of I don't mean this badly, but kind of a grassy, fresh mown lawn sort of thing.
Yep.
I would have this with a sugar cookie or a shortbread cookie with a nice icing on it with this tea by a fire.
Oh, I like the added.
There you go.
Oh, it all sounds perfect.
Yes.
Actually, you painted quite a lovely picture.
Oh, that's what I do.
You do. And this is it is a spice tea. It's a black tea.
Right.
And it has orange peel, safflower, and clove.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right.
And then it doubles up. We add a little orange flavor. We've got vanilla, cinnamon, almond. Do you detect any of those?
Yeah. The almond bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice rounded out flavor. But the smell, it's almost chocolatey when you smell it. So it's
That's it. Yeah.
If you just want to have it brewing as people are coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
All right. So this is definitely caffeinated. It's a black tea.
Okay.
We followed the suggestions from Harney's. We had it steep for 5 minutes, and we brought the water to a full boil.
Right. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to say cheers to the holiday season.
All right. Very good.
Okay. So speaking of seasons,
yes, here we go.
We're going to turn to some of our favorite television series, past, present, and future.
Right.
So first, let's talk about a couple of premieres today, starting today.
Okay.
The first one, hold on. The first one is Wicked. That is not falling into our category, but it does have its general public theater release today.
It's highly touted.
Oh my gosh, it's been hyped quite a bit, and there's been all kinds of promos. It's been featured a lot on talk shows, and even the nightly news got a piece of it.
Okay.
So I would say, not to be a hater, but I'll be kind of glad when this season of hype is over. Much like the elections, you're just kind of inundated. It's overwhelming.
It is.
So, but taking a cue from the Wizard of Oz, we have the. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That's the wizard.
Yeah.
Okay. So, taking a cue from the Wizard of Oz, we are gonna peel back the curtain.
Okay.
This week's blog, we talk about a behind the scenes of our first remote podcast.
Yes. Okay.
So we're again pulling back that curtain.
Yep.
And I want to say thank you to you and Rob for all your technical expertise.
What we do.
It is what you do. And also the great folks here at On TV. So they let us check out their equipment. They let us. We attended a workshop, and then they provided some one-on-one instruction. They are the best. We love On TV.
Yeah, they were very patient.
Right.
And it worked out. It was a lot of fun.
It is, and we've got plans for more.
Yes.
And better lighting.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other premiere that's on our focus today is season 2 of The Empress airs today.
Yes. Okay.
On Netflix. And this is about a true story of a Bavarian duchess.
Yes.
Elizabeth. Her nickname is Cece.
Right.
She marries her cousin, the Emperor of Austria, Franz Joseph.
Yes.
So she's 17, he's 24.
Okay. All right.
So not like some of those creepy arranged marriages we've talked about before where the king's 58 and the bride's going to be 19.
Yeah, yeah.
So
although there is a little bit of the cousin aspect, so we're not quite out of creepy territory, but
you're right. Yes, that was
but I think that's what they did.
Yes, that kind of is what they did, and they were first cousins.
Yeah.
But
okay.
But when they met, when she was 17, he was 24, or slightly before, that was I think their first time.
Right.
One of the first times. Okay. So we talked a little bit about Cece in podcast 11.
Yes.
And that was when we were sharing our visit to Schönbrunn Palace.
Yes.
We visited there in 2021.
Right.
And that is that was a summer residence of the Habsburg family, the royals.
In Vienna. Yep.
Yep. And I think many of us, I wasn't very familiar with the story of Cece.
Right.
But she was very popular with the Austrian people.
Right.
And in the gift shop of Schönbrunn, I mean, there's all the Cece merchandise.
Yes.
And I asked our tour guide, who's Cece?
Yeah.
So, I think we're more centered on a lot of the
English history.
Western European.
Yeah, we live in the Anglosphere, and so we tend to, it's more English language based and English history, and that's, tend to, as far as entertainment, popular culture, what we tend to get served up. So that's why it's good to travel, get out of that, and who are these people? Oh, there's this. Oh, more history?
Oh,
what's going on here?
Right, and they all kind of have ties to each other,
they do,
but they're not always brought out in the text or movies or films or books that we read. But anyway, the story of Cece is incredible, and as our tour guide said, she's much like England's Princess Di.
Yes,
and there are a lot of similarities.
Yes.
So they were both very pretty, married quite young.
Yep,
and they both rebelled against the firm.
Yes.
And I'm putting firm in quotes because that's the royal family.
Right.
And that bureaucracy that kind of sets the tone. So they weren't afraid to go outside of that.
Right.
And sadly, they both suffered tragic deaths.
And actually both kind of violent deaths as well.
Yes. So very sad. But one thing on the positive side, they shared a characteristic, very admirable.
Yep.
They connected with the common people.
Yes.
And they weren't afraid to show their emotions, and they had this talent for reaching out to people. So very popular.
Right.
And then so we were very intrigued by her story, read up on that. Coincidentally, almost on the first year anniversary after we had visited Schönbrunn, the Empress airs.
Yeah, season 1.
Right, August of 2022.
Yeah.
And of course we're
all over it.
We're all over it and loved it from the get-go. I would say they had us at Guten Tag.
Wow. Okay.
I had to do that. So what did you think of the first season?
So we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as I recall, and it's been a minute since we watched it. It's German language, but the streaming service Netflix offers up subtitles, and I thought the dubbing was actually very, very good.
Right.
It was not Japanese science fiction
Starman
at all. No, it was very good, and you'd have to really pay attention to kind of see the the difference between the lips and the spoken language. So that, I mean, I'm sure that took a lot of work to do that, but
right.
It was good.
Very well done.
Yep.
Good point.
Yep.
Good point. So we're going to be watching that tonight.
Yes.
And we also feature that in one of our this week's BTS blogs, a little bit about Cece and Sean Brun.
Yep.
So
if
you want to know more, it's in our blog this week.
Very good.
Okay. So now let's go and do a quick rewind on another of our fave TV series that just wrapped up season 4.
Yes.
Only Murders in the Building.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we generally enjoy watching this.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
Not too taxing.
Not a lot of heavy lifting
That's right.
going on here.
And it involves 3 podcasters.
Yes.
2 boomers and a millennial.
Where have I seen that before?
Yes. It kind of hits home.
Yes.
So when we do a podcast with our often special guest, eldest son, Rob, it's very similar. 2 boomers and a millennial.
Yes.
And the millennials, they kind of share this common trait of being amused by the fact that the boomers are onto some hip trend that they discovered 10 years ago.
Yes. Well, that's the job. It's in the description.
It is. It really is. It's kind of the hashtag eye roll of the younger generation. Yeah. Okay. So I think what added a little bit more for us to the story is that we have actually been to the building where they have done some of the filming and was the inspiration for the building and Only Murders in the Building.
Right, yes.
So it's the fictional Arconia.
Right.
And this is where these 3 podcasters live.
Uh-huh.
And they're played by Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. Right. Mm-hmm. And so they live in this Arconia, kind of nice luxury apartment, right? And we visited there a couple years ago. We went up, it's based on the Bell Nord apartment building, Upper West Side of Manhattan.
Yep.
And you can't go in unless, of course, you live there or someone invites you.
Right, yep. Or you're very bold.
Yes. Do you know who we are? Yeah. So, but you can get to the outside.
Right.
And we got to go up to one of the 2 gates that they have, these arch gateways. And you could peer in and look at the courtyard, which it will be very familiar to those of you who watch Only Murders in the Building.
Right.
So, a little history on Bell Nord. So it was built in 1908.
Yes, it's a very stately structure.
Oh, it's imposing, very impressive. And it was built by the architect firm of Hiss and Weeks.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to say, get out your bingo card.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a Gilded Age connection.
Oh, boy.
So Weeks, before he joined his partner Hiss, he worked for the architect firm of it's White.
Yeah.
Right. What was it? McKim, White, and Mead.
There you go.
And yes, thank you. No, it's so he worked for them, and they were renowned Gilded Age architects.
Yeah.
And White is also featured. He's a real guy.
Yeah.
But he's also in HBO's Gilded Age.
Yes, right.
So you'll see that White character.
Yep.
So bingo.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I was just finding that on the bingo card for you. Okay.
All right.
So it's an Italian Renaissance style building.
Right.
Takes up, as you said, it's really impressive. It takes up a whole city block.
It does, yes.
So it's pretty cool. And that courtyard, that's where they film some of their happy things and also some tragic events.
Yes.
And they've kind of queued up season 5 for at the end of season end of season 4 to go to season 5, right? We saw something happen in that courtyard.
It was another murder.
Oh, spoiler alert.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So what did you think of season 4?
Well, it was entertaining. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of heavy lifting. It's it's you're not going to be necessarily disappointed as far as mystery. With a lot of clues that you can follow. They kind of they're going to bring in stars and for all their cameos. It's just I think they're having a ball doing it. That's really kind of more the point.
I think so too, and it's fun to watch these actors kind of ham it up. But I thought it was a maybe an overkill of red herring.
Yeah.
Maybe belabored a bit, but loved season 3.
Yep.
With Death Rattle.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Musical. That was really good. Okay, so we have high hopes for season 5.
All right.
Okay, so we talked about seasons that we're wrapping up in the past. We talked about seasons in the present, what's starting today.
Yes.
And so now let's go to the future.
A future? Wow.
Okay. Yes, it's a new television series that's going to be out in May of 2025.
Yes.
Miss Austen.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to put this book out there so you can take a look at that.
There it is. That? Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
And this is about Miss Austen, but not directly about Jane.
No.
So not about this young lady.
Well, you have to put it on that camera.
Oh, I do? Okay. Oh, that's right. So
yeah. Anyway.
Sorry.
We'll work on that.
A few miscues. All right. So,
I didn't know you were going to do that.
Sorry. You never know.
All right.
Okay. So this is a story about Jane's sister Cassandra.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And we did a review on this book back in August of 2021.
Uh-huh.
And it was one of our Tuesday Tea and Tomes.
All right.
And at that time, we kind of put out a scoop, if you will.
Yes.
And it was, after reading this book that I love so much, I wondered if there was going to be a film adaptation.
Yes.
And got a little snippet on IMDb that said that there was a film adaptation in development.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Here we go.
My dreams have come true, and it is going to be in May of 2025.
Very good.
So, and this was one of the books that you actually found.
Yes.
When we were at Barnes and Noble. Just kind of moseying around. And I think I was probably looking for a magazine, a Tea Time magazine that one of my articles might have been in. And you found this treasure.
Yes.
And it's great. And the book is historical fiction, but it builds on things that are well known about the family.
Right.
So Jane died at 40, young age. And Cassandra, along with her brothers, wanted to protect their sister's legacy.
Right.
So they kind of whitewashed a bit of her style as far as her personality. And after their legacy, what they did was they took as many letters as they could get a hold of, and they destroyed them.
Right.
They burned them.
Yeah.
Because they had this, what they wanted to leave was sort of this image that many of us had of when we were first introduced to Jane, of this kind of quiet,
socially acceptable for the time. Yeah.
Right. A woman single woman who stayed at home and wrote books.
Yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong with it, but actually she was quite fun-loving.
Yeah.
She enjoyed her wine. She enjoyed dancing. Yeah. And talk about wicked.
Yes.
That's a good way to describe her sense of humor.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I'm sure they were well-meaning, but it's a little bit of a literary tragedy that those letters were destroyed.
Oh,
and because she was probably ahead of her time, and we would just enjoy the heck out of that, but they're gone. And I think there's a few letters left that get a little snippet of her personality, but that's all.
Right. No, some of the ones that did survive amazingly.
Right.
Just the wit is very biting.
Yeah.
But hilarious.
Right.
So anyway, in this in this tale of Miss Austen, Cassandra goes to this village of Kintbury.
Right.
And this is where some of their relatives still live. In fact, it's actually where her fiancé, Cassandra's fiancé, Tom Fowler, had lived.
Right.
But unfortunately, as we talked about before, he died of malaria when he went to West Indies.
Right.
Very young man. So they didn't get married.
Right.
And she remained single, as did Jane,
right,
for the rest of her life. So in this story of Miss Austen, Cassandra goes to Kintbury, and she's going to stay with these relatives and hopefully uncover some of the letters that may still be out there.
Right.
And and there's a few subplots.
Right.
Some first impressions. That was the working title of Pride and Prejudice.
Right.
That aren't always what what she perceived was not always what was reality. So there's some good things going on there. And the author of this, though, is also sort of an interesting tale in its own.
Right.
She's got a great story. So this is Jill Hornsby. And she lives in Kintbury.
Wow. How convenient.
How convenient. Yeah, so she's got kind of an inside edge on the narrative.
Yes.
Right? And she also said that she can empathize with having a sibling and being overshadowed by their success.
Yes.
Her brother is Nick Hornsby.
Oh.
Hornsby, yes.
Yeah.
And he wrote the books, among them, many famous ones, but he wrote About a Boy.
Oh, yeah,
and, High Fidelity.
Yes.
Those are just some of them.
Yeah.
And so she said that in one interview, she talked about this and she was laughing good-naturedly.
Right.
I will say that she said that she was often just kind of in the way of the main act if they were at a party together. They wanted to get to her brother. Yeah. But so she's got some insight there.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that will air on May 4th.
Yes.
Of next year. And May the 4th be with you.
Oh boy.
So it won't be Star Wars.
No,
it'll be Austen.
Very
okay.
Good.
So how are we doing on time?
So we got about 8 minutes.
Oh, okay, great. So we have some time to talk about Thanksgiving dinner and holiday etiquette.
Can't wait because it's upon us.
It is. It's next week.
Yes.
And so we found this article, kind of caught our eye because it said the rudest things that you can do at the Thanksgiving table.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this was an MSN online article.
Right.
And the writer of this article surveyed 4 etiquette experts.
Okay.
I didn't get the call.
No.
I must have.
How rude.
Or maybe I thought it was spam. Yeah. How rude. That goes to the top of the list.
That's right.
Good one, dear. Okay. So they list 5.
Yes.
And what's interesting, and maybe not too surprising, because they're all in the school of etiquette.
Right.
They all came up with approximately in the same sort of flavor.
They've all been annoyed by the same things.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay. So the first one, can you guess what might be one of the, in today's world, what might be the rudest thing to do?
I'd have to look that up on my phone.
Okay.
What?
Yes. Okay. Bingo. You hit it. That is the considered one of the great breaches of formal dining and etiquette is that to bring your cell phone to the dining table, because when you think about it, most of especially Thanksgiving, it's going to be kind of, you're all gathered around the table.
Right.
You're with your family, you're with your friends.
Right.
And it's a time to just, enjoy their company.
Yes. Even if you don't really.
That's another topic.
Yeah. Okay.
But so if in this short time, it's a great time to visit.
Put the phone down.
Put the phone down.
Yeah.
Now, there's probably a few exceptions, which I will add. If somebody in your party likes to take pictures of tablescapes of the food that they eat.
Wow. Oh, I think that's a little self-serving. Okay.
Maybe. But that at least if it's unobtrusive.
Right.
And of course, if you're waiting on some call for some emergency, something serious that you have to, people will understand that, of course. But nobody wants to see what you're looking at TikTok as much as it might amuse you.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second one is if you bring an uninvited guest.
Oh, a surprise person.
Yes. So, and the reason for this, and usually, if you're having like a buffet style, the more the merrier, or somebody you want to be more inclusive, you would open the door, surely. But a lot of times it's sit down dinners, and the menu's been carefully planned.
Yes. Yeah.
So it can be a hardship for your host and hostess, and you shouldn't really put them on the
You can
spot.
bring the guests, but they can't eat. How about that? How about that rule?
Sit in the corner.
Yeah.
Well, over the years, our children have brought some unexpected guests occasionally.
Well, I mean, we were aware.
We got
some notice. Yes.
Yes, some notice, and usually they've always been a delight.
Yes.
So they've added a lot to it. So
didn't bring a phone.
No, they didn't bring it on the table.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, number 3, that is criticizing the food.
Oh, can you even?
No. Now you're the cook in the family.
I am.
You're the gourmet cook, and you have very few misses. And if someone said, "Hey, Barb, the stuffing tastes really dry," I would understand. but really, folks are invested and they're doing their best.
Right.
So let's just it's a time to be thankful.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Even if the enjoyment's fake about the food, just Okay. All right.
And this kind of goes hand in hand. I'm surprised it has its own separate category, but if you add salt before even tasting, it says, hey, you don't even trust
Come on.
I know.
Come on.
And you know what? I love salt.
Yeah.
Probably too much. But, it surprises me a lot of times when you're eating and the herbs and all the other things in there, you don't even need it.
No.
You can destroy it.
No.
So there's a point, too.
Yeah.
The last one is arriving late.
Yeah.
Okay. So as this one can cause some problems for your host, especially with these sit-down dinners.
Right.
And, you've got the timing. Here's another thing where I think you're so good at these meals is because the timing to me I find so stressful.
Yeah.
Getting all those things together.
It's like air traffic control.
It
Everything's
is.
on the runway. You got dishes coming in. They're lining up, and you better be there.
That's right. That's right.
You better be at the terminal, or that plane's taking off without you.
As it should.
Yeah.
Now, of course, things happen.
Right,
you're 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
Maybe understandable.
Yeah.
Things, there's traffic.
Yeah. Use the phone that you're not supposed to bring to dinner to let us know.
Let us know. But if it's habitual, if it's a half hour, we're going on without you.
Right.
If it's an hour, and if this keeps coming up, and it keeps being traffic,
right.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Try another route. Okay. All right.
All right.
And then if we have a little time,
all right,
just real quickly, good etiquettes on being a good guest.
Yes.
So that could be, now we're kind of flipping it out, not rude behavior, but so good conversation.
Yes.
Let's kind of avoid a lot of those controversial topics.
Yeah.
Politics, religion, and when people ask about personal finances, let's not go there.
Right.
We can. There's enough fun things and entertaining things to talk about.
Right.
Like, what was the last book you read, or watching? Are you watching a good TV series?
Yeah.
What's your favorite podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So.
Yeah.
And all right. So it looks like we have run out of time.
We're getting there.
Okay. So there's a few other things you can do. Follow your host's lead. You want to be helpful.
Right.
Kind of see what your host or hostess would like you to do.
All right.
So we're going to wrap up.
All right.
And I think I hear.
Oh, here we go.
That tea kettle.
Yes.
Very good.
All right.
And I want to thank you, Chris, for once again being co-host.
Yep.
Want to thank On TV Studios for allowing us to be here.
I
want to wish everyone season's greetings.
Nice.
On all your many seasons.
Okay.
And please stay tuned.
Excellent. Okay.